The New York Giants have found their replacement for Joe Judge in Brian Daboll, now the former offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. I do like this move, at least for now. As for Joe Schoen, the new GM, I wanted to wait until the Giants found their head coach to make a video. So far, I like that move too. Joe Schoen did say all the right things in his opening press conference. So did Joe Judge though, but we'll get to all that later on. Just for now, yes, he did say all the right things. He did have a helping hand in bringing a winning culture back to the Buffalo Bills, and Brian Daboll was behind one of the best offenses in the NFL the last 2 years. I do like the fact that the Giants are bringing in guys who had something to do with making the Buffalo Bills a winning team again after almost 2 decades of being a laughingstock. I know I said that I want Brian Flores when Joe Judge got fired and didn't even mention Brian Daboll, but after putting up 47 against the Patriots in the wild card game and then 36 against the Chiefs in an overtime thriller, gotta change the overtime rules by the way. Yeah, I've absolutely been on the Brian Daboll trade, and here we are now. He's the new head coach. What's going on, guys? It's Nick. I hope you guys are doing great. How do you like this green screen effect behind me, by the way? If you're a Giants fan excited for Brian Daboll or just want to support the content, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. If you could please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss another video of mine in the future, I'd really appreciate it. Now, of course, I don't expect Brian Daboll to turn Daniel Jones into Josh Allen. I don't think anybody actually expects that. That would be highly unrealistic. However, I really do believe that Daniel Jones can be a good quarterback. Not a great quarterback, but a good quarterback in the right system. I've said this plenty of times before. As far as I'm aware, Joe Schoen plans to keep Daniel Jones around, and whether he does or not, it doesn't really matter to me. Now let's also keep in mind that Josh Allen did develop from a guy who had accuracy and decision-making problems into a top-tier quarterback with Brian Daboll as the offensive coordinator, so that to me definitely speaks volumes about what Brian Daboll can do. The Giants' offense was historically bad these last 2 years, couldn't even put up 30 points in one game these last 2 years. To bring in a guy who was behind a top 3 offense scoring-wise in the last 2 years as the head coach, just beef up that offensive line. I think good things can finally happen. It's been a while for the New York Giants for good things to happen. Hopefully, it's coming soon. I don't know what the future holds for Saquon Barkley though, but you can be on the lookout for a Rise and Fall video on Saquon Barkley, as that's a series that I'm doing on my channel. I'm not ready to give up on Kenny Golladay or Kadarius Toney just yet though, but just the top priority right now should be to fix that offensive line, something that Dave Gettleman lied through his teeth about fixing, and let's please take care of that in the draft. Unlike what we saw in the Giants offense these last 2 years, we saw the Bills run a lot of deep crossing routes. This Giants offense has been way too conservative these last 2 years, so finally we can expect to see the Giants offense be a lot more aggressive with Brian Daboll as the head coach. Again, still need to improve that offensive line. Just with Brian Daboll coming in, I really do think that we can expect to see the offense finally start being aggressive, because they've been way too conservative these last 2 years, and we saw the results. They can't even put 30 points on the board in one game for 2 years. I also don't think Daboll will just be here for Daniel Jones or whoever the quarterback is, like Ben McAdoo was hired for Eli Manning. Pat Shurmur was brought in for Eli as well when Eli was clearly on his last legs. Then Daniel Jones was drafted for Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur got fired. Then there's Joe Judge. All 3 of them were utter disasters. The quarterback obviously needs the right guys around him to be in the best possible situation, which Daniel Jones has not been given. This time around, I think that Daboll will be here not just for the quarterback, but for everyone, well, particularly the offense. And then Patrick Graham, if he doesn't take a head coaching job, or whoever it is that's the defensive coordinator, if Patrick Graham does take a head coaching job, they'll take care of the defense. Now, even though I did just say that I'm excited about Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, or at least I implied it, I should say, I'm also going to be very cautiously optimistic this time around. I do think there's a good reason to believe in Joe Schoen, as he obviously had a helping hand in the Bills' turnaround. Bill Parcells speaks highly of him, and they did work for the Dolphins together. Still, I'm being very cautious this time. I'm with you, Bad Dog. I was optimistic for Joe Judge, and if I'm not mistaken, mistaken, Bill Belichick spoke highly of him. Joe Judge, like I said at the very beginning of this video, he said all the right things in his opening press conference and he got a lot of us real good. And also, yes, I did predict the Giants to win the NFC East this year. I'm enough of a man to not hide from my L's. In fact, I should have learned my lesson after Pat Shurmur. For those who aren't new here, you may know I like the hiring of Pat Shurmur because of what he did as the Vikings offensive coordinator and Case Keenum playing at a Pro Bowl level when he's been a journeyman outside of 2017. I wasn't on YouTube during the Pat Shurmur regime, but I have talked about this in previous videos before. Pat Shurmur wasn't as much of a lost cause as Joe Judge, as at least the offense was close to average when Pat Shurmur was the head coach. But hey, either way, at least those guys are out of our lives, and hopefully Brian Daboll can finally be the right head coach, something the Giants have not had since Tom Coughlin. At least for now, though, I do think that it's very reasonable to expect that out of Brian Daboll. I think he at least deserves a chance. We're just going to have to see what the product on the field is before we really come to a conclusion. I'll even bring in a quote from the new Spider-Man movie, something I highly recommend if you really still haven't seen it yet, but you better have seen the previous Spider-Man movies if you haven't watched that yet. So the quote, "If you expect disappointment, then you can never really be disappointed." Hopefully this time we really won't be disappointed. Yes, I'm expecting another long season in 2022 thanks to the mess that Dave Gettleman created to begin with, but hopefully by 2023 we'll see this team start to go in the right direction. But again, for now, I'm not gonna set my expectations too high because when I did that with Joe Judge, it just went really bad. I'll also say this, as much as John Mara has pissed me off, he has gained a little bit of respect from me for at least being enough of a man to admit that he messed up. Now the Giants are actually doing things the right way and going outside of the organization to find their guys. Now let's just hope that these are the right guys. Of course, just because these guys are outside of the organization doesn't mean that they're actually the right guys. Just for now, the fact that he's no longer looking for guys that he actually has ties to, that's a good sign that he learned from his mistakes. But we still don't know for a fact that they're the right guys. We can just hope, and at least from what we see, they seem like the right guys. So that'll do it for now. If you made it this far and you haven't yet, if you liked what you saw, if you could please leave a thumbs up, that'd be much appreciated. And also if you could please consider subscribing and hitting the notification. I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. I'd like to get there as soon as possible. I also cannot forget to ask if you can please get down in the comments and let me know what you think of this hire. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I read all your comments and I will gladly respond. Want to follow me on social media? The links are down below and I will follow you back. Also, if you want to click either of these videos up above, I'm sure you'll really enjoy one or the other. That'd be much appreciated. And as you just see, this is not just a football channel, this is a sports channel. So thank you so much for watching. Talk to you next time. Peace.